Hey everybody! So welcome to the third episode of Book Clubbed. I know it's been a minute. It's been a minute and I'm very sorry about that. Life has just been doing its thing. And I'm honestly just trying to work this podcast into my current situation. And I'm just trying to figure it out. So we just had our first, book club moment where we read the book club, and I'm not sure when I'm gonna do another book club segment because of how things have been going lately. I'm trying to figure things out. So this was a good first run for the book club, but I will be picking it up hopefully sometime soon. So there will be another book club feature in the future. Yes. So, this third episode is actually going to be exclusively available on my YouTube channel. So, this one will not be available on any other platforms other than YouTube. So, this is specifically for YouTube. So, you won't be able to listen to this anywhere but here. And I'm just really excited to talk to you guys. It's been a while. And what I like about, doing videos like this and like segments like this is that I get to talk about stuff that I don't normally get to talk about in videos because I'm just trying to get the point across and I don't want to bore anyone into leaving the video. But so, um I do want to let you all know that I'm going to be talking about the family plot today because that's what this is specifically for. This is a book club discussion about the family plot by Megan Collins. And so I will be talking about it. There will be spoilers. So when I start talking about the book, I will let you know. But before that, we'll be talking about a couple of other things, just sort of updating you guys on certain stuff that's going on right now, what I'm doing, what I've been working on, and such. Let me go ahead and take a sip of my tea that I have right now. Actually, this tea is a mixture of it's tea and strawberry lemonade, but it's so good and it's so bad. Like I don't need to be drinking so much of it, but it's so good. Yeah, and I've sort of fallen back in love with Cool Ranch Doritos, and I need to chill out on that too. Yeah, I've just yeah, I need to chill out on some things. I really really do, but I do want to come on here and say hello and talk a little bit about my TBR and how it's been going. And, like I said, like I'm trying to work this podcast into my life right now and like how things are going. Like, there's nothing necessarily like huge that's happening that's like creating a problem. It's just, my job has been getting a little bit more like demanding, and we just hired someone new. So we have a new barista that we're training and getting them situated and then trying to figure all this stuff out. My manager's going on vacation, so it's gonna be pretty hectic. For like the next like 2 weeks, it's gonna be pretty crazy. So I really was trying to find time to do this episode, and I just went ahead and decided that I would do it right now. So as I'm recording this, it is actually the 25th of March, which is really bad because this was actually supposed to go up on the 11th of March. But at least it's going up. At least it's going up. But yeah, so things are happening there, and I'm just trying to figure things out and all that. I haven't been watching that many movies, which is really weird because in February I watched a lot. I actually have my little booklet. If you could hear it, my little booklet, ASMR. Yeah. My little booklet I have right here. This is my watch list booklet. And in February, I watched 18 movies. Okay? 18 movies in February. How I did that? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, there was like a week where I hurt my back and I had to stay home from work and I watched a lot of movies, but like 18 movies. That's a lot. And then in March, I've only watched one movie so far, and that is Final Destination. Oh no, Final Destination and Final Destination 2. Yeah. So that's really, really weird. I don't know. This month has just been insane. And also, I think it's because like winter's over now and we're going into spring, and I hate the warmer months. I hate them with a passion. I absolutely despise summer. I wish it could be eradicated from like the seasons. Like, I hate summer. And I know it's coming up and it's going to come so quick and it's going to irritate the shit out of me because I hate being sweaty and gross and humid, and I hate it. But yeah, and I think I probably hate summer the most because I live in El Paso, Texas, and it gets pretty fucking like crazy here. Remember one time I went to a park. I think we were there for like a few hours, and I got the worst sunburn ever. I couldn't even lay down and sleep in the bed. Like, it was so bad. And I was like that for days, using aloe and taking cool baths. And like, it was bad. I remember that was years ago, but like, I hate summertime in my city. It's literally just hell on earth. But yeah, so, those are the things that have been happening. As for my TBR, let's get into my TBR a little bit. I had planned on reading 4 books this month, so that was The Maid, The House on Hoarder Hill, Gallant, and Daddy's Little Girl. And I was actually excuse me, 2 physical books to try to read. I didn't get to either of those 2 books. I don't know if I'm going to include them into my April TBR. I don't know about that. We'll see. But I didn't get to them. It's the 25th. Like, I only have like a few days left, and then the month is over. So I fucked up on that, and I'm mad at myself because I really want to get back into reading physical books. And I don't know. And honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I know everything on my shelf, even though I haven't read everything on my shelf. And like, I don't know, like, nothing's really like grabbing me completely. And weirdly, like, my sister wants to go to the library, and haven't been to the library in a long time, like months and months. So, and that's so weird for me. So we're gonna go to the library soon. I don't know when. We were actually supposed to go tomorrow, but I want to go to the library and see if maybe I could check out a couple of books, and maybe that will help a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. The audiobooks have just been doing amazing things for me. I've been reading so much more with audiobooks, and I love them so much. I just miss the feeling of holding a book and just turning the pages. I feel like I'm losing that, and I don't want to be that person. Even though there's nothing wrong with it, I don't want to be that person who ends up just reading audiobooks all the time. That's just not me. And there goes the cameo from the fucking freeway. I just don't want to be that because I don't know. I just love books so much. And I own a lot of them. So yeah. So I'm just trying to figure things out. And maybe next month, I'll pick 2 brand new ones. Like, I don't know. And I don't even know if it's maybe the fact that I'm picking books and then showing them on camera and then making those 2 the ones that I have to read. So maybe I can just decide that I want to read 2 books and just not say which ones they are or which ones I'm going to pick. I don't know. So let me know in the comments what you think and all that, because it'll be interesting to get more perspectives on it. Or if you'd like to see like exactly what I'm going to read. I mean, I think the audiobooks are enough, but like you never know. You never know. I don't know. I'm weird. So, so far this month, I've read The Maid, and I've read Daddy's Little Girl, and then right now I'm in the middle of Gallant by V.E. Schwab, and I'm really enjoying Gallant. I haven't read a YA book in a long time, so I was really interested to see what this was going to be like. I think I was scared that it was going to be like, because a lot of YA books, I think 90% of YA books are mostly like romance books masquerading as fantasy. Like, it's all about the romance. People are obsessed with all that, and like, I get it, but like, I sometimes I just want to read a really good fantasy, and so, or a fantasy horror or just a horror novel without all the romance thrown in there and like that taking over the whole plot of the book. Like I hate it. And sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I don't mind it, but sometimes I hate it. But Gallon has actually been very like interesting for me. It's really refreshing, honestly. And I'm really liking it. The narrator's really good. I'm really enjoying it so far. And I think I have like 3 hours left of it. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. So yeah, so that's what I'm reading. Unfortunately, though, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to the house on Hoarder Hill. Yeah, that was the one middle grade book that I picked for the month, audio wise, and I am probably not gonna get it. So I won't have read any middle grade books this month. That's gonna be so weird. But I think I'll go ahead and add that one into April because I want to read it still. But yeah, so I haven't read it. And I don't think I am because what's today? The 25th? Yeah, like that. It's probably not gonna happen, but here's hoping. But yeah, so there's my TBR for you all. I've also been writing a lot with the little time that I get. Let me tell you something here. Like with the job that I have, I don't have crazy hours. Okay, I do not have crazy hours at all. But for some strange reason, I can't find a spot in my day to place the writing like time in. Like it's really bothering me. I'm trying my best to figure it out because I really want to have at least a couple of books out this year. Like I have the Miss Penderly sequel planned still. I know I said that I probably wasn't going to go ahead and do that, but I changed my mind and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have it out either at the end of the year. I was going to have it out in the fall, but it's a winter read. Like there's snow, Christmas, so I think it needs to be a winter release. So I'm thinking that I might knock this one out in maybe November or December or January. Like I'm not sure. Like I'm taking my time and I'm not letting anything else influence it. You know what I mean? I know a lot of you really enjoyed One Day with Miss Penderly and the sequel. In the beginning, like when I was writing it, not things weren't really working because it sort of felt like Miss Penderly was supposed to stay a standalone. But I've been writing this one and it's been working and I've been like, okay, this is a cute like little one. Like it's a little like sequel to it. There's not gonna be a third one. Zero plans for a third Penderly book. It's literally just going to be this next one. So it's gonna be kind of like a duology, but there are going to be companions and they are going to feature characters from One Day with Miss Penderly. So yeah, so this is going to be its own little duology, and actually, it's going to be its own little duology, and that's it. Like the other companion books are going to be standalones, so there's not going to be any more. They're going to have series. So this one's kind of like special in a way. So yeah, so I'm working on that. I'm not putting really any like timestamps on it. I just don't want it to come out too long. Not lengthwise. I mean, like I don't want this one to come out like because I was just talking about this with Gwen on her podcast. If you haven't listened to it yet, Talk Bookish to Me. I was just recently featured on her latest episode, and we were talking about like sequels coming out too far. Like like the sequel comes out like almost 3 years later, and like you sort of just lost interest, and maybe you got to read the first book all over again. I didn't want to do that with One Day with Miss Penderly. So I'm gonna try my best to make sure that it at least comes out at the beginning of next year. Like that's like deadline. I don't want it coming out years later. That it doesn't make any sense. It no. Like I don't think anybody would really care, to be honest. But like that's just not something that I like, and I hate when people do that. And I understand though that writing books, obviously, I'm an author. Um, it's a journey. So like obviously things take time, but like years for a sequel, that's like too much for me. So, here's hoping everything works out with that. The sequel to One Day with Miss Penderly is actually not like my priority right now. So, like, I'm taking my time with it. Things are working the way they're working, and things are set the way that they are. right now my priority is a book. I don't want to say the title of it because I don't want to make everybody go, oh my God. So it's a book that I've been working on for almost like 3 years. Um, like I've been working on it longer than that, but like writing it and like doing everything 3 years. It was supposed to come out in 2020. It didn't. It had a release date set for 2021. It didn't make that release date. I pulled it. And then now I'm trying my best to figure things out because I'm pretty sure I'm about 99.8% sure that I've figured out what was wrong. I'm pretty sure I have, and I'm excited to see what happens. Because originally this book was meant to be a YA book. And do I just say what it is? I don't want to jinx everything. If you know, you know. It was meant to be a YA book, and then I turned it into a middle grade book because I felt like, oh, it works. It works really well as a middle grade book. It doesn't work better. It just works really well as a middle grade book. And I wanted to release another middle grade horror fantasy and just like have fun. And then when I got done with it, I even like sent myself an arc of it. I have a copy here in my room and all that. Like after rereading it a couple of times actually, I've discovered that it's not meant to be middle grade. Like this one is not meant to be middle grade. And I feel like so weird. I don't feel bad. I feel weird because I made it middle grade and it just feels like I adapted it for no damn reason. Like I adapted it for middle grade readers for no damn reason. Like let me tell you, when I had written it for YA readers, I only had half the book written. So, like, it wasn't completely done yet. So, I finished it as a middle grade book. So, I actually have a lot to work on with it. But it's not like a lot. Like, it's not like crazy. It's just going to be like an adventure going through it. But I'm excited because I haven't touched this book on my laptop in so long that I'm itching to like figure all this stuff out and just add even more craziness to it because now that I've like pretty much, put it back into being a YA book, I feel like I have so much more freedom. Even though middle grade books, you can pretty much do what you want, you just can't get too graphic. I feel like this needs to be a little graphic. It needs to be a little gory. It needs to be very like horrifying and just balls to the wall, insane. Like it just needs that, right? And it's a horror fantasy, so it needs all of that. And I feel like that was a really big thing that was missing. And like there was a certain level of darkness that I feel like I wasn't tapping into when I was writing it for middle grade because I've done middle grade horror. You guys know I've done the Library of Souls. So I was like, well, if I've done Library of Souls and that was pretty spooky, obviously this one's gonna be fine. But this one just works so much more as a YA book. It just does. Like it just works so much better. And I'm really excited to figure everything out. I sadly, the cover for the book that almost everyone has seen does not fit like the YA version of it. So I am redesigning the cover. Um, so that is a little bit of an adventure for me. I'm trying to do something that's very trendy with YA books right now. The whole, like dark, like illustrated vibe that's going on. Like I'm trying to do that as well, and just like working really hard on it and seeing like where this takes me. I'm just excited to get back into it and just not have any bars like holding me back. Like I'm just ready to get in there and just write some scary ass shit. Like I really just like, and the thing is not really scary to where like you're gonna be afraid to read it at night. No, wait, no. There are moments in this book where you're like, ooh. You might look over your shoulder a little bit and be like, oh fuck, like it'll creep you out, right? But I wanted it to be very, I don't know how to explain it. If you love horror movies, you know what I'm talking about. Just like horror movie vibes, like just horror movie. That's what I'm kind of going for, but also keeping the fantasy in it. So think very Crimson Peaky, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina like. That's what I'm going for. Like magic and supernatural stuff, but also just very like grotesque and just like insane, gruesome, and just and also very gothic and like very flowery and like beautiful. Like the writing, I just it's third person, so I'm really just I like the way that I'm writing it. Like I like the way that I like just the descriptions of everything, the character descriptions, like things are just like I love writing in third person so much. So um it's just yeah, it's exciting. And if you know this book, you know what I'm talking about, then you know. I'm not saying the title because I'm not jinxing this shit for me. I have very bad luck sometimes. But if you know, you know. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. You know, talking about other things other than the whole point of this episode, which is the book. Um, so yeah, so let's go ahead and do that because people are probably like, when are we talking about the book, Richard? Now, right now, we're talking about the book. So the book that we read, if you haven't read it, this is the moment where I'm telling you that you gotta go. If you don't care, then you can stick around. But if you have not read this book, I'm gonna spoil it. So go. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil everything. I'm just warning you. There's gonna be things in this that you're gonna be like, oh my god, why did you say that? Yeah. So if you don't care about spoilers, stick around. If you care about spoilers, you can leave now because that's pretty much it. The rest of this episode is going to be me talking about this book. So everything that you wanted to hear in the beginning, if you were curious about anything, it's all been talked about. So the rest of this episode is about this book. So, and I actually don't even feel like it's going to be that much longer of an episode because I have some things to say, but at the end of the day, yeah, well, we're going to talk about it. So the book is The Family Plot by Megan Collins. This came out in 2021. I'm pretty sure it did. That was oh my god, my elbow just popped. 2021. It's a adult thriller, and the synopsis intrigued me so much when I like the cover is really cool, but this synopsis is what got me. So this is about a woman who returns home onto this island that she was raised on as a kid, and she was raised on true crime and on just like true crime serial killers and stuff like that. Like her school curriculum was like Ted Bundy. Like it was like a lot, and that's what got me really intrigued. So she returns home because her father is he died, and they're gonna bury him. And she also has a brother who went missing a long time ago, and he sort of just like ran away and disappeared. That's what everyone says. And they end up discovering her brother's body, decomposed body, in the father's grave. So yeah, that's pretty much like the like it's in the synopsis on like Goodreads. You're trying to find out basically who killed the brother, and let me tell you, I what I don't really care for thrillers to be totally like this is who did it, like in the first 10 pages this is who did it, but we're just gonna tell you a story anyway. Like I don't really care for stuff like that, and I felt like this is what it was like. It basically you figured out who the hell killed the brother in like the first half of the book, and then after that I mean if you read a lot of mysteries you get it really quickly, and then the rest of the book is just like this girl like fighting with her siblings about dumb shit, and then it kind of drags, and it's not really like anything extremely interesting. I did say, however, that I thought that I still think though that this would be a really good like Netflix movie, not a theaters movie. And that's why I always like when I say something is going to be a good movie, I will put the emphasis on whether I think it'll be a good streaming movie, like a Netflix movie, Hulu, and not in theaters. Like this is more Netflix. So I think this would actually do really well on Netflix if they were going to turn it into a movie. They could not turn this to a TV show. I fucking hate when they take thriller books that are standalones and turn them into TV shows. Like a limited series is fine because you have a lot of things like you want to like tell. And a limited series is just one season and that's it. But I hate like when they try to drag these. I hate when they drag shit out. It gets on my nerves. But um, so her brothers and her sisters are handling like the situation like really weirdly. Like one of her sisters is I'm trying to remember a lot. Um, One of her sisters is like a diorama person. She has like an Instagram page where she like recreates murder scenes and shit. And so she's recreating the scene of her brother's grave, which I think her name is Tate. Is her name Tate? No. Is it? No, Tate is the one who's making the dioramas, I think. And then Dahlia, her name is Dahlia. She's the main character of the book and she's like, having all these issues with her brothers and sisters. So her sister, I think Tate is doing the whole diorama. One of her brothers is like a complete prick. He's like a out of work actor, like Broadway and shit. And she just has these issues with him. And a lot of the book focused a lot on her issues with her family members, which I thought like, okay, that's valid to have that, because they're all stuck with each other in this house and on this island. Um, but I felt like it was a lot of that, a lot of like family drama, which I'm okay with sometimes, but not like when it's half the fucking book. And then she also, there's this police officer's son who was also a police officer, and his dad was a detective who was after the family's father because he thought that the family's father was like this killer. And yeah, so it's just I don't know, it's weird, and like she's like having these weird like feelings for him, and like there might be some romancy stuff going on, but like not really. Like she doesn't know who she can trust, and it felt like something that could have been done a lot better, and it just didn't like hit the mark. It's just I don't know, for me it just didn't hit the mark. So I think like I said, this would be a really good movie. Like and I read it on audio, so I think the person who um narrated the audiobook, I think her name was Emily Tremaine, and she did a really good job narrating the audiobook. But like I said, it doesn't sometimes the narrators will help the audiobook because you're like, I wouldn't have been able to get through this in a physical form. The audiobook I can get through. This is one of those instances where without like she actually helped the story completely, because had I been reading this like physically, this more than likely probably would have been a DNF for me. But like I mean you can DNF an audiobook, but like the narrator really just like if they're really good at their job, they'll keep you reading. And there's been a couple of instances where I've wanted to DNF an audiobook, but the narrator, I was like, okay, this narrator's really good though. So I will just keep going because of the narrator. And I think this girl, Emily Tremaine, did a really good job with it. And like it was really weird about this one too is that all these twists that like especially in the synopsis, it was like there's these crazy twists that are gonna happen. There wasn't any crazy twist. There wasn't any. Like it's just like I don't know. And they said the same thing about the book The Maid. Like there were like all these crazy twists, and I'm like, there's no crazy twists in here. Like who who is reading these books and giving these fucking sound bites, like these quotes, like who's telling people that this shit is like who's reading these books and saying, oh my god, I've never read this before, this has never been done. No, it has been done like a lot, especially The Maid, like that. Oh my god, I could dedicate a whole episode to that, but I will not do that. But the family plot, um yeah, it just was okay. Like I think I gave it 3 stars. There's no way in hell, no way in hell it would have been a 4-star read, but I gave it 3 stars. And would I recommend this? I guess I would recommend this if you like true crime, not because it's like is not a true crime book. But like if you like books about true crime that are fictional, then you probably would enjoy this, and maybe I would highly recommend listening to the audiobook over the physical book. Like I know that there's like a lot of people like, let me go to the Goodreads for a second and let me check it out here. So for my friends' reviews, we have people who have rated this 2 stars, 3 stars, and like someone said, it seemingly had all the right elements for a great mystery. Sadly, it didn't live up to my expectations. Well, yeah, that's for me. Like same, it had all these like things that you were like, oh, this is gonna be really really good, and it just didn't hit, and it didn't hit. So yeah, a lot of people gave it 3 stars. So I guess I'm not the only one who thinks that it like who didn't think it was like amazing. Like someone said they wish that there were less predictable twists. Yeah, like it was so fucking predictable, and like I don't know. And like usually too when you're rooting for the main character, especially in like thrillers, like in this one Dahlia, I'm just like this girl thinks she obviously thinks she's better than everyone because she left, and she's ignoring her brothers and sisters or whatever. Um, but I don't know. It was just I don't know. It was just weird. There were some things in here that was just like yeah. And then okay, hold on. And then someone else said, "What was the significance?" Oh, this is a question. What was the significance of the blue dresses? And then someone said the dresses were what the Blackburn killer dressed his victims in. But there was no discussion on why they specifically chose the ice blue color. Yeah, there's like a lot of things in here that just were like, eh. But oh my gosh, I did not realize looking at the bottom. This book is like this. You either like it or you don't. Like there's a lot of 4 stars and there's a lot of 3 and 2 stars. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but I just felt like this could have been done a lot better. And like this book does deal with trauma in a way where the family, all of them, including Dahlia, are dealing with this, you know, the trauma of her losing her brother, her twin brother, um, at such a young age, and then their father passing away. Then also how they were raised. Like, can you imagine being like, and like, I like true crime. Like, I watch Forensic Files and unsolved mysteries, and I have true crime books. I have serial killer books. Like I'm very very interested in true crime. But like, imagine like growing up and then having like your school curriculum, homeschool curriculum, be serial killers. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of trauma, sweetie. You're gonna be a little fucked up. And I don't know who would do that shit to their kids, to be honest with you. So, but like I said, like see, there's little things like that I enjoyed about the book, but that I think would be really well adapted into a movie. So I'm gonna say that again. This would be a really good movie. Netflix, do your thing, bitch. Because I think it would be a really good movie. But yeah, so I think I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I don't have a lot to say. Um, I tried. So I mean, when we all read this together, if you read it, then you can below sort of discuss what you thought about the book, what you didn't like, what you did like about the book. Just know also too, if you're still listening, the comments are going to be full of spoilers. And if you are going to be putting spoilers in the comments, just at the top, just tag it, just put spoilers. Just up there for people who, if they scroll down and all that stuff like that. Because there's people who usually will just try to read the comments on videos and not watch the video or listen to the video. So if you're going to put any spoilers, just make sure you tag them as spoilers, just so no one starts freaking the fuck out. But yeah, so I think this was a pretty good, like, I wanted to do this live, but I don't know. Like, I haven't done a live video on my YouTube channel in a long time, and I don't even know if this laptop, even though it's a new laptop, I don't know if it can handle it, because I swear to God, when I save a video, this thing start running like hot. as if it's a fucking car. Like, it just starts getting hot, it starts buzzing, and I'm like, bitch, this thing costs $500 and it should be able to handle saving a video on an editing software. But yeah, so I don't even know what it would do if I tried to do anything live. And it was lagging on me when I was doing the podcast with Gwen. Not too much, but it was, and the computer was like buzzing and all that, and going. I'm like, bitch, shut the hell up! The fuck you think you are, Leatherface? No. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. And I'm already talking weird, which means it's late, and it is late. It's 1:57 in the morning. I should be sleeping. I don't work though. I don't work on Friday, so I get to just wake up whenever I feel like it. But I do have things to do. So yeah. So if you enjoyed this, talk about it below. Have any questions and all that? Ask them below. About the book that I was talking about earlier. If you know, you know. Talk about it below. I kind of want to see if you guys know what I'm talking about when I was talking about the book that I'm writing, that I'm finishing up, and then I'm not writing. That book has been done. Like, I'm actually going in there. I'm going into the book and I'm just hacking it and just like rewriting shit. So it's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre situation, but in a good way, like in a good way. So yeah, this is gonna be exciting. Yeah. All right. So thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully, I will have another episode of Book Club out soon, rather than later. But who the fuck knows? Um. But yeah. So I will hear you all. Oh my God, I need to go. I need to go. Um. We'll talk to you all next time. Bye.